Greetings StatsBloke and welcome back to Foghorn. 087 brings the second part of the French destroyer release event, and while that's pretty simple, there's a lot of other things in this update, so pause this video, get a cup of tea and get comfortable. It's going to be a long one. I can't cover everything, but I'll try and capture the important bits. Got your tea? Let's go. Cut, we don't have time for that intro, let's just get on with it. The second of the three-part French destroyer release event is the main theme of Update 087, which hits CIS and NA on Wednesday the 21st and C and EU on Thursday the 22nd. This update sees the release of the French DD tech line from Tier 2 up to Tier 8. If you didn't get all the ships early in the last update, don't worry, you can now just research them normally. The Tier 9 and Tier 10, Mogador and Kleber, will form the last part of the release in Update 088 at the end of September. For a summary of what the French DDs are like and how I recommend setting them up, I'll put a link to a stream highlight in the video description. As should be familiar by now, this update brings a new temporary currency, French tokens. You can earn a total of 3,210 French tokens by playing in Update 087, but getting that total will be very difficult. A new series of missions and directives will open up, which include normal mission rewards as well as some French tokens. If you get into the Hall of Fame and place above the top 50%, you can earn more French tokens. This means that, sadly, the special prize for this update, the new French commander Philippe Aubignon, who costs 2,100 tokens in the armory, may be out of reach for players not willing to buy premium containers. To get Aubignon for free, you'll need to complete the directives, plus missions for Mogador and Le Terrible, which you may not have in port, and also place in the top 50% of the Hall of Fame. A very tough grind, out of reach for most players. As with previous events, there will be standard and premium containers available. The standard containers can drop special signals, camos, coal, Legion of Honor collection items, and also have a chance of dropping missions for premium ships De Grasse, Aigle, Gascoigne and Le Terrible. Premium containers, which will be available for purchase in the armory for doubloons and the premium shop, will drop more consumables, have an increased chance of dropping ship missions, and also will contain 120 French tokens, enabling players to get the special commander by spending some cash. And I think that's going to be necessary for the majority of players who want to get him. Aubignon is an interesting prospect. He has three unique talents. Sparks of Resistance increases fire chance of the ship's shells by 1% per capture and assisted capture ribbon, a nice skill for destroyers. Fully Armed reduces reload of all armaments by 5% for each dev strike, a great skill for battleships. Speed and Composure increases ship speed by 8% for every 2 million potential damage, a nice skill for all classes but especially battleships. All three skills can be activated multiple times per match. Aubignon also has Enhanced Survivability Expert. This combination of skills makes him a great choice for the new French destroyers, but also for French battleships, and perhaps the higher tier cruisers as well. Update 087 includes a new collection to celebrate the French destroyer release. The Legion of Honor collection will give access to second flags and alternative camouflage patterns for French ships. Start the collection by getting a collection item from one of the standard or premium event containers. And now Research Bureau, a topic we're probably all familiar with because of the controversy surrounding its earlier incarnation, Naval Training Center. Wargaming have completely reworked the original concept following a huge and united response from us, the community. Wargaming listened carefully and made a huge U-turn, removing content which would boost performance for experienced players, and instead replacing it with new ships, cosmetic items, and economic rewards. A lot of you campaigned hard for this change, and we got what we asked for. Be proud of that, and remember, Wargaming do listen. What does Research Bureau actually do? Well, briefly, it allows you to earn a new currency, research tokens, which you can spend in the armory. Over time, the set of rewards available will be expanded and changed. Initially, the main reward is French super light cruiser Colbert, infamous for its rainbow of shells, but in actuality not that dangerous as long as you're moving and not too close to it. To get the 57,000 points needed to get Colbert, you'll need to reset and regrind lines. Each non-CV line is worth 10,000 points, and CV lines 8,000 points. The Bureau operates 3-month seasons. At the start of each, your first reset line earns double points. There's been a little confusion over these seasons, but that's literally all the seasons do, give you a new double points bonus every 3 months. Once a line is reset, the ships of that line gain special symbols from tier 6 to 10. You knock the symbols off by re-researching, rebuying, and winning with each ship once. The symbols and double bonuses will persist, even if the 3-month season has ended, so there's no rush. You need to bear in mind 3 important things. 1. Resetting a line sells every ship in the line all the way down, so you lose access to those ships until you grind the line back. So don't do this to your go-to competitive line right before clan battles, King of the Seas or ranked. 2. Resetting a line sells the ships for the usual 50% value figures you'd get if you sold the ships individually, but you have to rebuy them at full price, so make sure you can afford to do that or are able to grind the credits as you grind the line back. This is especially important for non-premium account holding players. 3. Make sure you have the entire line from tier 6 up to 10 researched before you reset it. Any gaps caused by early access will mean those ships won't get the symbol. Research, then reset. You don't have to have the ships in the port, just make sure you have them researched. The Bureau will be available to those with at least 5 tier 10 tech tree ships researched. To get Colbert, you'll need to reset and regrind 6 lines worth of points. But with the double points bonus, you can do it in 5 or even less if you're willing to take longer than 3 months to do it. To celebrate the release of Research Bureau, there will be some accompanying missions and bonuses for the first week of the update, and also from the 6th to the 13th of September. Port slots, upgrades, and permacamos will be cheaper, and you can bring home a lot of signals by completing missions. Note that the proposal to make all ship consumable abilities free did not go ahead. Consumables such as Repair Party will still have free and premium varieties. From the 5th of September to the 14th of September, a new ranked sprint season will run. This time it's at tier 6 in a 7v7 format and includes up to 1 carrier per team. Unlike previous sprints, there will only be 1 division, so you can div up with 1 friend for the entire season, no matter which ranks you both hold. According to previous news releases on the portal, there should be a further 2 sprints across the rest of 087 and 088, but the details haven't been released yet. Matchmaking is something we all care about, and this update brings a significant change designed to make playing tiers which are often bottom tiered, mainly tiers 5 and 8, more comfortable to play. The matchmaking will monitor your matches over a rolling 20 game period and attempt to keep your proportion of bottom tiered games to 40% or less. So if you're playing a tier 8 ship, you shouldn't see more than 4 out of 10 matches with tier 10 ships. The flip side of this is of course that tier 10 ships will now mostly end up in very tier 10 heavy matches, but overall the change should make matchmaking a bit nicer for the majority of players. This effect will kick in after a calibration period of around 20 matches, and is held in your account on the server, not locally on your machine, so there's no worry about playing from different machines or reinstalling the game. One of the biggest complaints from CV players before and especially since the rework has been the autopilot constantly making mistakes and being hard to use. 087 brings a significantly smarter autopilot for all ships, but obviously of most use to CVs. You can now plot a course straight through an island, and the autopilot will plot the best course around it for you without the need for multiple waypoints. It will steer much more accurately than before and control ship speed to help with tight turns. You can still set multiple waypoints to choose your exact path, and if you do run aground, the autopilot will attempt to get you back on course. I tested it on PTS a couple of weeks ago, and it looked quite impressive, and it's a definite improvement. There were a couple of bugs, but hopefully they've been ironed out. This update brings a huge rework to AA. Before I get into some details, there's something really important for you to do. There's a free captain skill reset available, but for some reason you have to opt into it on the portal. Find the 087 update news item, the one with the Dasher video, and find the AA section. If you're logged in, you'll see an orange button with reset skills on it. Press that to trigger the reset. You can do this on the website or in the in-game news portal. I don't want to go into too much detail about the AA rework here, as there's a lot of it, but I'll pull out the bits that you should know about. First up is priority sectors. The old choose a side mechanic is still there, but it's much easier to use. Simply look to the left or the right of your ship with your camera and press the hotkey, O or tilde by default depending on your region. This immediately activates your AA sector boost, so make sure you don't trigger it until planes are actually inside your AA, otherwise you'll miss the new feature, an instant damage burst to the planes, which does not depend on the AA strength of your ship. Destroyers will inflict 5% of plane health and other classes 3.5%, as long as your ship has at least one AA gun. Again, the damage dealt is a fixed percentage of plane health and has nothing to do with your AA strength. So you don't want to miss using this ability, especially on weak AA ships. It might be the only way that you can shoot planes down. Once that initial burst has happened, the sector strength gradually buffs your continuous damage on that side of the ship for 5 seconds, and then it holds it for 5 seconds, the other side weakens at the same time. After the 10 seconds, your defenses go back to normal and the ability has a 10-second cooldown. This short cooldown means you can probably use it against every single carrier attack run, so get used to using it because it's going to be a good way to shoot planes down regularly. Another key change is that AA rings will once again overlap instead of being separate, so ships which previously had missing short or mid-range rings will no longer have gaps. To compensate for the overlap, the strength of continuous damage ticks in each ring has been reduced. Because the rings stack, the outer ring will have relatively low damage per second, but close to the ship you'll be in the long, mid and short range rings simultaneously, and you will take a lot of damage over time. Flak bursts will only spawn in the outer zone where DPS is low. However, flak has been buffed in various ways that mean you really need to dodge these angry black clouds or you'll lose a lot of planes. This change means that a CV player will experience 2 phases of attack. First, dodge flak bursts, and second, once through the flak, fly into the strongest DPS zone and line up an attack, drop and escape. The defensive AA consumable has been given more of a focus on flak damage, and the manual AA commander skill has been renamed Massive AA Fire, and simply boosts that immediate 3.5 or 5% damage burst to plane health. Again, this skill has nothing to do with your AA strength, and has no effect on your DPS or your flak damage. If your ship has at least some AA, this is now a viable commander skill, hence the free commander respec period. It will probably be a good choice for ships with weak AA as an anti-harassment measure, but I need to try it before I can recommend it as a build choice. CV players, don't forget that flak bursts turn red inside when Def AA is active. Hermes, Furious, Hosho, Ryujo, Shokaku, Langley and Ranger are all seeing significant changes to their loadouts. Mostly this involves increasing the number of planes in squadrons and on deck to compensate for the effectively much stronger AA which this update brings. I think the intention is that this is the last major AA change to complete the CV rework, but we should expect some tweaks over the coming few months as live data comes in. In this update, you can now completely turn off battle chat in the game options, and also block chat and quick commands from individual players via the chat window. The minimap will also limit the number of map square pings from a player. About time. The ship Carousel has had a slight makeover to make things clearer, including filters which are context sensitive. One thing to watch out for, if a ship has multiple bonuses available like Daily XP, Research Bureau, event symbols and so on, only one will be shown, so be aware that a ship may have more bonuses which are hidden. Russian Tier 10 cruiser Smolensk has been added to the armory for 244,000 coal. Don't forget to use a coupon if you have one. She's a very light, stealthy cruiser with a smoke generator. She's great fun, and if you like the British cruisers, you'll love Smolensk. I highly recommend her for fans of Minotaur. The latest steel ship, Summers, is available for 25,000 steel. She's a jack-of-all-trades USN destroyer with decent torps and decent guns. She doesn't excel at any one task, but is very flexible and can cope with most situations in the game. Just don't expect to outperform a specialist destroyer at their own speciality. The ships with the creeping smoke, so Perth, Haida and Huanghe, will have their smoke generator renamed to Crawler Smoke Generator to make it clear that it's not the standard smoke generator. There's no change to the way it works, just a visual clarification of which one you have. The planned European nation is finally being introduced with Wisławica as its first member. While no others have been announced, I think we can expect a range of premiums to be gradually added, including perhaps Friesland, Verbus Unitas, and interesting ships from nations which don't have enough ships for a full line. Commanders will retain their national identity from the ship they were created for, but will be transferable to other Pan-Europe ships. The Italian cruisers will be going into live test shortly. We've seen some of them in play on PTS, perhaps you've tested some of them yourself. Well, look out for them in the hands of testers on live very soon. With their beautiful models, high speed, full speed smokes and semi-armor piercing shells, this is sure to be an interesting new line. Catch me on Twitch on Fridays to see them in test. Submarines were confirmed as still in development last week, and if you watch the broadcast on Wednesday on the official Warships Twitch channel from Gamescom, you might see some teaser footage of gameplay. Wargaming said that the introduction of submarines will be carefully managed, and we can expect to see them introduced in separate test clients and separate game modes first. Eventually they may make it to random battles, but not before a significant amount of testing. Wargaming have learned from the CV rework, and hopefully the introduction of submarines will be exciting, not game-breaking. It's certainly a pivotal moment in the 4+ year history of the game. I'll be bringing you more content on submarines as soon as I get my hands on them. Finally, Twitch drops will continue during 087. You can get up to 5 Twitch crates by watching your favourite Warship streamers, who don't need to be CCs by the way, any Warship streamer is fine. You can also get the 4 weekly missions, and you have a small chance of getting a mission drop to get the Japanese premium battleship Mutsu. You can catch me on Twitch every Friday evening EU time, link in the description. Well, that's finally it from me. I'm off now to put this Foghorn together and get it to you before the update hits CIS and NA in the morning. If you enjoyed this episode, please do like and subscribe, and if you want YouTube to notify you about new videos from me, please do ring that notification bell. I've made the decision to keep my YouTube channel ad-free, so if you'd like to support me in making more YouTube content, you can find me on Patreon. The link is also in the description. Patrons and Twitch subs get access to an exclusive channel in my Discord server, and also the warm, fuzzy feeling that comes from keeping a bold British CC's cupboards stocked with tea and biscuits. I'm off now, take care of each other, and I'll speak to you very soon.